Good morning, Zio here. And today we're talking about Blizzard censorship, because why the heck not? Also, I'm working on a project. If you haven't seen it yet, you should go over to the Fruit Labs and check out my profile, or over at the Twitter, where I may have tweeted a hint or so. So go ahead and go check that out as well. But today we will be talking about none other than Diablo 2. If you know anything about me, because you've been following me long enough, you know I'm a Blizzard fanboy. I'm also insanely highly critical of everything Blizzard does these days, and they haven't exactly been my favorite company in the world, in recent years for various things. However, I'm still that fanboy who loves their stuff. Even though I haven't really touched a Blizzard game in a while, this really kind of ticks me off just a little bit, because I like remakes and such. So go ahead and grab yourself some coffee, sit back, relax, and let's get into it, shall we? Yeah, normally my intros don't run that long. We say what we're going, we grab our coffees and we go. But I figured if I didn't hard stop what I was saying, we would be there the entire time, and then I'd completely forget to actually do this sort of thing here. Anyway, so Blizzard has once again decided they're going to, censor things. Just like other major companies, because somebody's got to censor it for somebody's woke sensibilities here, there, and somewhere. And it really ticks me off. Not gonna lie. Look, I'm all for remasters. Sometimes they're great and stuff, sometimes not so much. One of the things I really like about a remaster or a redone version of an old beloved game, especially, is when they add things to it, right? And I'm not just talking about detail because they're upping the graphics or anything else like that. I mean, like, additional content, like extra stages, extra this, extra that. I think that would be kind of cool. Diablo 2, of course, has plenty in it to begin with. So, even if they don't add anything, it's not going to be the worst thing in the world. I'm just really excited for the fact that I can bring back my Telly Wind Druid, the very first of its kind. This is the only thing I've really ever claimed that I actually created before anybody else. And the only reason I say that is because, 1, I was on ladder. 2, everybody thought I was cheating constantly. Always being told that I'm cheating, I'm hacking, I'm doing something because my druid has an enigma on him and could teleport. And characters couldn't do that, right? Unless you were a Sork, you could not teleport. And this was before the day that they had actually added in those amulets that I don't really know much about. I just remember seeing something about it later on, because at that point I had done moved to World of Warcraft and left Diablo behind. But yeah, Telly Wind Druid, invented by me, yours truly, Zio. Yeah, so we're talking about censorship, of course, which really pains me. When you take the liberty to change certain aspects of the game, regardless of how small it is, if you're not adding to it, it's usually not a good thing, right? But yeah, Diablo, or the team working on Diablo 2, because it's not technically Blizzard, right? If I remember correctly, it was a different studio that does remakes. Wow, my brain's not functioning yet. Anyway, but yeah, there's blatant censorship, and we got betas out there right now that were functioning over the weekend or last weekend, which of course then people noticed it. After you see all the amazing as it is, because they've added so much details and all these other things, new frames, the way characters move so they're not so rigid and all this other stuff, and it looks freaking amazing, I'm not gonna lie. Then you start to notice the other little things that you may not have noticed right off the bat. And if I told you this was an Amazon, would you believe me? Um, maybe I should have got the original character book out just to see if there was a bigger picture. I don't remember. But I mean, there's this right here. This is the Amazon. This is the render art and everything for the Amazon way back in the day when this game first came out, of course. Ooh. You know, which is a rated M game, by the way. So you know, when people sit there because somebody made the argument, if one person has made the argument, other people have. Well, technically, it is rated M17 for animated violence. And animated blood and gore, not sexual stuff. So, yeah, they should have changed it. And all this other stuff. It's a rated fucking M game. It's for 17 plus adults, for crying out loud, right? It doesn't really matter. We know it wasn't changed for the ESRBs or to conform to its rating, you know, little box down here at the bottom. For all those who don't really, I don't even know if that's going to actually come into focus. But anyway, you know. The ratings, right? It wasn't changed for that, right? It wasn't brought down. There's a reason why people love Diablo 2 so much and hate that one back there. And that's because it was dark. It was gritty. You know, it wasn't afraid to flaunt things. And, you know, the story was pretty good. You know, just when you dive into the lore and stuff, that was really good and things. And, you know, that just wasn't something that D3 did very well. I mean, I could get past the player auction house, as horrendous as that was, but it's too bright, it's too colorful, it's too... How do I say this? Whimsical. Anyway... you probably know what I'm getting at if you've played Diablo 3. Yeah, not a fan of that. Although I do like the idea of rabid unicorns. Just give me back my cow level. That was amazing. I missed the Cow King. Dang it. Anyway, regardless of whether or not he's an Easter egg just to see for a split second or whatnot, I want to kill the Cow King again. Anyway, yeah. So they've tremendous. There is a detail on these characters that are pretty nice, right? The buckles have buckles. You know, the druid apparently went and saw a hairdresser. Looks pretty cool, pretty chill. The Amazon, on the other hand, looks like a man. I mean, no disrespect to anybody out there, but yeah, whatever happened to the Amazon is horrid. The censorship, of course, comes in the form of the Sork and the Amazon here, where, you know, one, you've got the face there. You've got now this skirt instead of coming up right around in here with showing a little bit of thigh, because apparently we're unable to show women's thighs or something, I guess, in America, because that's taboo for whatever reason. I don't know. I mean, that's the best thing I can get. They want to sit there and, you know, talk about things like liberation and, you know, rights and all these other things. And then they go ahead and say, you know, teach men to do this and that and stuff. And you've got the same people saying this, and then they cover up certain things, right? And it's just like, why? Well, if we don't do this, then really? And it kind of contradicts their whole narrative. But anyway, aside from all that, because I'm ranting in bits and pieces here and there, you know, they covered up the Sork here. You know, this top was kind of a crop top or whatever it was called. You know, showed a little bit of underbob. We can't do that anymore. Let's see. I don't have that pulled up, but you know, it was still covering it, but it was still, you know, it came up a little further. So let's see if we can actually see that for a second. Right there. But yeah, so they've clearly censored the Sork. You know, it's similar to when they censored Final Fantasy 18 Final Fantasy 8 at Square, where they put some other additional things on certain stuff like Shiva and things, because, you know, apparently people can't handle that these days, but they could back in the 90s. Don't get it. But yeah, watching, of course, people play this game has been pretty nice. You know, with it being an early in its beta setting or whatever, and it looks really, really nice. And they've done the same thing to Undariel here, of course. Undariel. Bleh. Blood Raven. Wow, if I'll get my people straight here in a second, it's been a while since I've done some Diablo. But yeah, they've gone ahead and they've changed some art assets as well. But of course, these original assets are still in the game, right? So, it's not like you can't just hit G, but you can't get it in the HD, which kind of sucks. Blood Raven. Here's Blood Raven. Anyway, yeah, I was going to say that didn't look right. Anyway, yeah, I lost my train of thought now. It was this butt right here, right? That made me lose it. What can I say? I completely mismatched my characters and stuff. But I mean, that looks nothing like the original. Not and that is horrible. I hate that. When you do think, oh, look at this. They actually have a thing up here. I did not look this far down in here. I just wanted to rant about it for a second because I already knew most of it. But I mean, if you look, the characters do look, way more detailed and stuff. But definitely, also not. I just don't know how to put it. Yeah. Anyway, the best part, or the one, not the best part, but one of the things I was also afraid of was, has the D community been tainted, right? Because that normally is the thing. You get a bunch of really, really loud people in the space who are saying, we need this change nobody asked for, right? And it turns out they're all on the same page for the most part, right? People are not exactly too happy about this. I mean, they're just looking up D2 censorship. I got 2 separate forum posts on the general thread here, which I'm surprised is still up, considering they're about 4 days old at this point, because Blizzard's moderation team tends to make this stuff sweep under the rug, and they like to issue some bans here and there. So they must have been, there was a lot of heat for doing that at one point, especially with the Blitzchung thing. But yeah, see, people don't seem to be too too happy about it. But then you get some people like this person here, the MVP title. I'm not honestly sure what that's for. I just assume they're always on the forums or something. Miss Cheetah here, the staunch defender of Blizzard censorship, but press G. That puts the original graphics back on screen. Not sure what article you think you found. I wager someone speculating, not officially interview with Blizzard, which is a funny thing because before that article, we were seeing these things in the beta with our own eyes. We didn't need Blizzard to tell us that they made these changes when you can see the changes. Right? So, yeah, okay. Keep in mind, the game was rated for thought. It was not for sexual content. It was for blood and gore and violence, which is where I brought up that earlier, because if one person has made that argument at this point, there have been other people who are making that argument. Well, they changed it or something just for so if it's the ESRB's rating a little bit better. No, that is the dumbest thing I think I've heard. Anyway, yeah, people, of course, did not take that very well. And it's like, yeah, so this was basically everywhere. Where have you been? And, I don't know if this is true, but they speculate about 95% of the players are extremely annoyed at the D2R censorship regarding player characters, of course. And yeah. So people are not too happy about it, and you've got another one who replied to it. Of course, this isn't too active because D2, the community is very, there's quite a few people, right? A lot of them have moved to things like Path of Exile. They may not actually be on the Blizzard forums anymore, among other stuff, so they seem a bit smaller than they normally are. But once this game releases, I'm sure they'll all flood back and have a good time. Anyway, let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I will talk to you later.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment, smash that like button, and always subscribe for more. And of course, there are other videos floating around somewhere on the screen, so click one of those and see if you can find something that suits your fancy. Till then, I'll see you later. Bye.